The one comedian that we've been sitting here doing this interview that you hold in very high regard is Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle walked away from 50 million. You said it was more. Tell the story.
That's right.
I'm gonna let you tell it.
No, you're the
No,
best.
I want you to tell it.
You really are the best. You proving it here today. As much as I'm proving it, you proving it.
So like when I be like, oh, these guys are wearing dresses. Everybody's like, oh, he keeps talking about people wearing dresses. No, it's not.
That is a weird thing.
It's not like that. Look at it from a different way. Look at it. Show me one person that ever wore a dress in Hollywood unsuccessfully. That's how you understand what a ritual is. So 20.
But now, Dave Chappelle has always been funnier than me. And Chris Rock has always been funnier than me. I've always been aware of who was funnier than me. I've just also been aware of who wasn't. So now I know the real Bernie Mac stories, and I know that the people that made money off Bernie Mac didn't like him. They hated his guts. And when he had to go on his hiatus, he tell me, Katt, when I come back, I need you. You my young partner, you my brother in comedy. When I come back, just promise me that my next movie, it'll be me and you. We gonna do it together. We gonna do some buddy cop. I said, Martin, you got my word. Go do what you gotta do. When you come back, I mean,
starts like a whole Twitter beef with this guy, Katt Williams. That Katt Williams starts saying things to this fake Dave Chappelle that's hurting the real Dave Chappelle's feelings. So I go to the comedy show and I see Kevin Hart there. I'm like, what's up, Kevin? And he's like, yo, man, Katt's here.
Katt Williams has never been afraid to say what everyone else in Hollywood won't. And that's exactly what makes him dangerous. From stand-up stages to viral interviews, he's built his entire reputation on exposing the secrets this industry works overtime to keep buried. But behind the laughter and headlines lies a much darker story, one that explains why every time Katt speaks out, Hollywood shakes a little harder. So how did one of comedy's sharpest minds become one of its biggest threats? Stay tuned, because today we're diving deep into why Hollywood truly fears Katt Williams, and what really happens when you dare to tell the truth.
Katt Williams, Black Tree. Take one up one. Yeah, that wasn't the thing. It wasn't, people say that. He lost $50 million. No, that's not even close to what happened to this dude. And until you understand what happened to the dude, you don't understand what happened. Like, no, not they offered him $50 million and he turned it down. Who gonna turn down?
Well, that's why I said your fans have a difference of opinion.
But Dave Chappelle was decapitated in front of us. And until we deal with that, until we deal with the fact that a devout Muslim who doesn't eat bacon was accused of being a crackhead, until we establish the fact that they said that he went to Africa to smoke coke when we know they don't have running water and food over there.
So then I go over to Katt and I'm like, yo, Katt, I gotta talk to you. I don't have a Twitter page. And he's like, so
Katt Williams has never been the type to stay quiet. And that's exactly what makes Hollywood nervous. From his early days on stage in the 2000s to the viral interviews that break the internet today, he's built a reputation not just as a comedian, but as a truth teller, a whistleblower unafraid to expose the dark corners of the industry. He's gone toe-to-toe with some of the biggest names: Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Kevin Hart. And every time he's made one thing clear: he's not here to play by Hollywood's rules. There was even a moment early in his career when he refused to take part in a project that, in his words, disrespected his people. He told the producers straight up, "You're not going to get a real black man to go against another." That moment set the tone for everything that came after. Katt Williams wasn't just doing comedy. He was making statements. Even in his early years, when his sharp wit and over-the-top style lit up every stage he touched, you could tell, behind the laughter, he was carving a lane no one else dared to walk.
Us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them. End quote.
We all love Dave Chappelle.
Exactly. Dave Chappelle has never been a part of the Illuminati. They don't want him or me or people like us.
Yeah.
But now it's not
necessary for us to stir up that hornet's nest unless we intend to get stung 1,000,000 times. I didn't understand that. They had to sting me 1,000,000 times. Right. I'm still not going to join. But
While other comedians chased fame and approval, Katt Williams was calling out Hollywood's darker side. By the mid-2000s, he wasn't just a funny man with the perm and the punchlines. He was a truth teller. There's even a story from one major comedy event where the room was packed with A-listers whispering, "Is Katt Williams going to show up?" And then someone pointed out quietly, "He's right there." The respect and the tension were real. Over the years, Katt's message became bolder. He openly accused Hollywood of exploiting black talent, saying the industry rewards obedience and punishes independence. He talked about secret deals, hidden gatekeepers, and a system built to silence those who won't fall in line. When a reporter once asked if he was afraid of being blackballed, Katt just laughed. "What do you mean?" he said, and that one line said it all. Because he had already lived it. On stage and off, his words hit different. They cut through the laughter because they weren't just jokes. They were warnings. The audience laughed, but they also listened. They knew there was truth buried beneath the punchlines. Still, instead of listening, the media twisted the narrative. They labeled him unstable, difficult, controversial. Shows like Saturday Night Live even turned him into a caricature, mocking his voice, his style, his image. But Katt saw it differently. He believed it was all part of a larger plan to discredit him, to distract from the message he was trying to send. And when he wasn't calling out the system, he was calling out the powerful. He accused Steve Harvey of stealing jokes from another comedian, claiming Harvey cared more about building his media empire than protecting originality. The accusation shook comedy circles, divided fans, but Katt didn't flinch. Because he's never been afraid to go after the powerful, no matter the cost.
Def Comedy Jam 25. It's good to see so many funny people together in one room, all wondering the same thing. Is Katt Williams going to show up?
Nervous as hell right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he's right there.
There he is.
I didn't know he was right there. Nigga, I would not have said that if I had said it right. Yeah. Not used to quiet, introspective Katt Williams.
No.
Well, let me ask you this. When have you ever seen this many heavy hitters all together at the same time? Yeah. In the same room. Yeah.
Right.
Even in the middle of all that tension, Katt never lost his sense of humor. No matter what he was going through, he could still make people laugh, even about his own pain. He once joked about growing up broke, saying every Halloween he had the same costume, just a brown box his mom brought home from the liquor store. The crowd laughed, but beneath that punchline was the truth. Katt had learned how to turn struggle into art. That mix of raw honesty and fearless humor is what made him who he is. Funny, yes, but also fearless, unfiltered. The kind of comedian who didn't just tell jokes, he told truths.
Dave Chapelle was decapitated in front of us. They called him Pilot Boy because he had 19 pilots in Hollywood and everybody passed on him and said his show wasn't worth it. Then when he made $500 million, they said even though his contract said he should get half of it, they said he made too much for the contract to be valid, so we'll offer you 10% of what you made. You mean he made $500 million and they offered him 50? Yes. And he said, what do you think my fans are gonna say when they find out you offered me 10% of what I made you? And they said, your fans will believe that you're a crazy crackhead by the time you get home. He got on the flight in LA, and by the time he got to Ohio, it was so.
Some people said Katt Williams was too aggressive, but others saw something deeper, courage. To them, it wasn't about causing chaos. It was about standing up for truth and integrity in comedy and life. Critics labeled him reckless, but fans saw him as fearless. A man bold enough to speak what others only dare to think. By the late 2000s, Katt Williams wasn't just another funny man. He had become a symbol of controversy. Part performer, part prophet, part provocateur. He turned Hollywood's spotlight back on itself, exposing what hid in the dark. His routines weren't only jokes. They were warnings about greed, deceit, and double standards. And that was just the start. When Katt began naming Hollywood's biggest players, things exploded. These weren't random spats.
And Hollywood has never heard this in 100 years. He was so egregious, I put in my contract that I won't work with Ricky Smiley again unless he's in a dress. Now, what was Ricky Smiley's next movie? Was it First Sunday? Did he wear a dress in it? You bet he did. It's in my contract.
Why would you put that in your contract, Katt?
That's where he's a believable actor. Him and Tyler Perry can't play a man to save their life. They play good women, and I believe that the best actor should be in the best role.
The clash with Oprah stunned everyone. Katt accused her of using her power to silence voices she didn't approve of, even alleging she tried to cancel rapper 50 Cent. He believed Oprah's influence reached far beyond television, deciding who rose and who fell in Hollywood. Nothing was ever proven, but opinions were divided. Some believed he was exposing hidden truths, while others thought he was just causing chaos. Then came his fallout with Tyler Perry. Katt accused Perry of favoritism and secret deals that locked certain actors out, even claiming Perry's control stemmed from insecurity. He argued Perry's fame came at the expense of integrity and originality, famously joking that Perry could play a perfect woman but not a believable man. Still, the feud that refused to die was with Kevin Hart. Katt claimed Hart had taken roles that were his, that Hollywood handpicked Hart as the safe face of black comedy, someone who wouldn't question the machine. Hart stayed composed, brushing it off and saying he was proud of his path. To Katt, that calmness only confirmed his point, that Hollywood rewards obedience and punishes those who dare to tell the truth.
Remember when Kevin Hart said this about Katt Williams?
My frustration with Katt Williams comes from, you keep pointing at Hollywood, the white man, this and this. When do you take responsibility for your action? Me, Kevin Hart, the guy that sits on top right now, have taken advantage of all the money that I have, shot over 56 specials for the up-and-coming generation of comedy. You had the shot. You didn't show up to work. You became a risk to the studio.
What was he a risk?
He chose.
And Katt Williams did not hold back in his response.
The fact that people tell lies. A cat's on. Where are the stories? Why is there no story of anybody who ever sold it to me, did it with me? I got 5 daughters. I got 5 sons. You can't afford to be a comedian and be black and be short and have me as a op. Not just because I'm him, but because you're not.
Kevin Hart once said in an interview that if anyone truly had a problem with him, it wouldn't be difficult to talk things out privately. He explained that the issues people claimed to have with him weren't his to solve. But to Katt Williams, that response said everything. To him, it proved that Hollywood protects the ones who stay quiet and sidelines the ones who speak the truth. Every feud led back to one theme: Katt Williams versus Hollywood's power structure. Whether it was Oprah allegedly pulling strings, Tyler Perry running a controlled empire, or Kevin Hart acting as the system's golden boy, Katt saw himself as the lone truth-teller calling out. And the more he spoke up, the more the industry, and even other comedians, began to worry about what he might expose next.
Recent controversy online, I know you don't spend all your time online, about Kevin Hart wearing a dress in the SNL skit. And Dave Chapelle spoke about that. As a comedian, black actors are always, being asked to wear dresses. Have you ran into that? And what do you think about that whole Illuminati theory that people put out there about that?
Well, thanks for that softball question. It's 2 answers. First of all, let's be very, very clear. It is possible that there isn't anything funnier than a guy in a dress. And if that's the case, then it might also be said that there's nothing funnier than a black guy in a dress. Okay, well, I watched all of my friends throughout my entire life be able to dunk a basketball, but not me. So everybody can't do everything. So, some of us make choices. I think it's not a biggest choice for others. I'm saying at the end of the day, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress wearing.
If there was ever proof that Katt Williams never shied away from conflict, it was his long-running feud with Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer. Both were comedy heavyweights, adored for their work on the original kings of comedy, hit sitcoms, and talk shows. But Katt wasn't buying into the hype. To him, they embodied everything broken about the comedy game: shortcuts, recycled material, and carefully polished images that had nothing to do with authenticity.
Then you asked it, why you not a movie star? I didn't want to be a movie star. This the same Negro that hated on Bernie with this same thing. I didn't want to be a movie star. No, you couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good, Oba-Kaby, and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none. You would have to have range. I played a lot of characters, 60 movie roles. I'm not playing Katt.
Katt accused Steve Harvey of stealing jokes, not only from him, but from fellow comedian Mark Curry as well. He even claimed Harvey exaggerated stories about his tough upbringing to make his rise to fame sound more inspiring. To Katt, that wasn't authenticity, it was branding. Many fans sided with him, arguing that Harvey built his legacy on other people's creativity. For Katt, comedy was supposed to be rooted in truth, and in his eyes, Steve Harvey had traded that truth for fame and image.
This is like Steve Harvey telling people he used to be homeless. That's my story. That's not his story. Steve Harvey wasn't never homeless. When Mark Curry was touring with him 25 years ago, he was making $3,000 a show in cash and doing 5 shows a week. They just tell the stories. Thanks to my wife, I'm where I am. You said that about the first wife. You forget that? You told us it was her. Then you went and married somebody else that think like a man. Like, what are you talking about? They think they can rewrite history.
Things took a sharper turn when Katt claimed both Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer had privately admitted to stealing jokes, but refused to come clean in public. Cedric denied the accusations, saying that if Katt really had a problem, he should have spoken up years earlier. But that only fueled Katt's fire. He doubled down, insisting Cedric even used one of his jokes in the original Kings of Comedy. Cedric dismissed it as ancient history, but Katt refused to move on. He once said that nobody truly understands why liars lie, and that Cedric's vague explanations only made things look worse. To Katt, this wasn't about a single stolen joke. It was about integrity and respect within the comedy world. He believed Harvey and Cedric represented a much bigger issue. Established stars building their legacies on the creativity of others while presenting themselves as untouchable legends.
Promise me that my next movie, it'll be me and you. We're going to do it together. We're going to do some buddy cop. I said, Martin, you got my word. Go do what you got to do. When you come back, I'm in your movie. Don't trip. I don't need to see the script or nothing. You know, we get in that office and this fool pull out Big Mama's House 2. I almost died. And I gotta read this script in front of all these good white people. Where there's no on me to get in a dress with him. And I'm literally saying to everybody, why is he in a dress again? You already played the old lady as an FBI agent. We can play anything now.
Meanwhile, Steve Harvey stayed silent, choosing not to address the situation publicly. Some saw his silence as a sign of maturity, while others believed it was a strategic move to protect his carefully built image. Either way, it kept the feud alive and made many wonder if Katt had been telling the truth all along. The growing tension between Katt Williams, Steve Harvey, and Cedric the Entertainer soon became one of comedy's most talked about rivalries. It had evolved far beyond stolen jokes. It was now about power, credibility, and legacy.
I don't know, Katt. We might not let you drink anymore the way I mean, we ain't even got...
You mean to tell me if Steve Harvey your favorite comedian, you mean you've been waiting for him to do stand-up for 15 years now? He stopped stand-up because he got in a comedy battle called the Championship of Stand-Up Comedy with one Katt Williams in Detroit in front of 10,000 people and lost because Katt Williams said he was actually bald and that was a wig.
200 million, I might need to get me one of the more women look the same.
That's what they all end up saying at the end of the day. Kevin told you he wasn't going to wear no dress until they offered him the dress, and then he put it on. And what did he say after he wore it? I made my own decision. Duh. But you didn't make it before they brought it up, did you? It's okay. It's all right.
You have a lot of politics.
Ice Cube once explained why even powerful figures like Oprah Winfrey seemed reluctant to confront Katt Williams directly. Clips began surfacing online, suggesting Oprah completely sidestepped his accusations. To fans, her silence spoke louder than words, highlighting Katt's growing influence. In one viral clip, Ice Cube said, "Just want to address a few things. You know, everybody's been checking out the internet. My man Katt Williams." It showed that even Hollywood's biggest names couldn't escape the impact of his words. Soon, more celebrities were pulled into the conversation. Online discussions mentioned Marlon Wayans and Taraji P. Henson as stars who kept their distance, with fans joking that they didn't want smoke with Katt. One viral post summed it up best. "It's not confirmed, but all signs suggest Hollywood's elites don't want problems with him." And honestly, who could blame them? Katt had proved time and again that no one was too powerful to be called out. But while fans admired his fearlessness, a darker cloud followed him. In August 2025, tragedy struck when comedian Reggie Carroll, part of Katt's Heaven on Earth tour, was fatally struck in an incident involving a security guard reportedly connected to Katt's team. The tragedy cast a heavy shadow over the tour and reignited debate about the chaos surrounding his life. Some saw it as proof of how intense things had become, while others criticized the media for focusing on drama instead of compassion. Still, Katt didn't flinch. He called 2024 the Age of Truth, urging fans to look past Hollywood's shine and face the corruption beneath it. To his supporters, that made his legacy even stronger, not just as a comedian, but as a whistleblower exposing the rot behind the fame. Today, Katt Williams stands as one of comedy's most polarizing figures, loved for his honesty, feared for his boldness, and respected for his unshakable integrity. Whether it's fear or admiration, one fact remains. When Katt Williams says your name, the world stops and listens. So, was he silenced? Or did he walk away from a system too corrupt to fix? Love him or hate him, Katt Williams has never been afraid to speak truth to power. His story goes beyond comedy. It's about courage, conviction, and standing tall in an industry built on illusion. Thanks for watching. And if you love hearing the real stories behind the fame, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next spill.